Press or
Yeah.
some of the other contributors. Like they're not full time, but they count on their income coming through Rideshare Guy for things they do. So
definitely, yeah. No, Sergio is always asking me for raises. So I don't always say yes, but he's always asking.
Yeah, Sergio promised me no matter how this went, they were going to tear me up on Show Me the Money next week. So that's why I thought, yeah, perfect. It drops today, and Show Me the Money was yesterday. That'll give you guys 6 days to cool down first.
Perfect. Yeah.
But I love those guys, and I love the fact that, like when I've had Sergio on, or when Sergio's dropped in on us, he always mentions the fact that, well, do you know why Harry and I even work together? Is that we don't see eye to eye. Or maybe you guys do more now that time has gone by, but when you met, it's like you would have an opinion, he saw it differently.
Yeah, no, I actually think that Sergio and I see eye to eye on a lot of issues, but he's maybe more outspoken than I am, right? I think for me, like I sort of like everyone, like I never tell people what they should or shouldn't do, right? Like if I don't philosophically agree with someone on everything that they're saying or doing, I probably wouldn't hire them in the first place. So I think the thing that stuck out to me about Sergio is that I understood like from day one, I remember when he was leaving comments on our blog, and he had really good insight into driving. And also at the same time, I remember he was one of the top earners and making a lot of money. And yet he was still very skeptical of Uber. And I think that he represents, like every driver is very different, right? And so I think he represents an interesting section of the population of drivers, right? Like not every driver is like, wow, this is the best company ever. There are some drivers who love driving for Uber, right? There are some who are very skeptical. There are some who are kind of very skeptical and don't make money. And there are also some who are, kind of skeptical because they've been doing it for so long. But if they've been doing it for so long, they've kind of figured out the system, right? And so I think that's the thing that, like, I always tell Sergio to kind of keep in mind is like, hey, you're doing well and you're making a lot of money with Uber. You're one of the top drivers, right? And I think like the whole crux of my business is not telling people that they should or shouldn't drive for Uber. Like I like to let the facts speak for themselves. Like, hey, here's what the average driver is making, but you should be in the top 10 or top 20% of drivers, right? And if you're not in the top 10 or top 20% and you're complaining or bitching about how much money you're making or not making, that's kind of a you problem, right? If you're doing everything that you can or everything that you should and you're doing well, or sorry, you're in that top 10 or 20% and you're still not making enough money, then I can kind of empathize with that, right? It's more the drivers who are like, hey, I went out and drove a Tuesday afternoon in the middle of nowhere and I made $4 an hour. I'm like, yeah, you idiot. Obviously you shouldn't have been driving during those times and places, right? You're running a business, whether you realize it or not, right? And not everyone is cut out to be a business owner, right? Like it's a challenging job. And so I think that keeping that perspective, and like I've always taken the approach, hey, if you want to work in the gig economy, I'm going to help you do it better. I'm going to help you make more money. And I think that's kind of like the underlying thesis of the whole business. I'm never going to tell anyone, don't work for Uber, don't work for Lyft, don't drive for DoorDash. I'm saying, hey, if you want to do that, I'll help you make more money, pretty simply.
Exactly. And